Right, so here we go with another tutorial then. So, in Blender 5, let's create this Enderman. As I say, I'm sorry about that, the screencast, I always like to use that. But in Blender 5, seems to be an issue there with screencast keys. So, to try and look into that. Right, so, let's just hide the camera and light for now. We can use this cube, it's our wireframe there. Let's create this Enderman. So I use this cube, N for our item. I like to move that up to there, Control A, all transforms. Stick our epic, never know where to put this epic pin. Oh, it's a layout, we're in layout mode. Got our wireframe, so we can use that cube as the head, can't we? So let's go into edit mode. Let's get a couple of loop cuts in there. Let's make sure we're in the X. X is across there in case we need it. Let's add a couple of loop cuts for the eye. Let's get a symmetry on. Let's select these loops. And the eye should be. There's a separation between the nose. Looks like the eye goes pretty much to the end, doesn't it? Tell you what, we'll delete. We'll dissolve them edges. Select that, loops, edge, dissolve them edges. Yeah, eyes go right the way to the end. So that can be the head. If we add a bevel modifier, just so it's not quite as harsh. So add modifier, generate, bevel. Mount, try 0.2, just so it's not quite as sharp, the edges. Maybe try 0.1. Yep, so that can be the head. Let's go to add mesh cube again, and we'll move this up there so we get the right structure. Let's move this cube up here. Let's just look at this body shape. This is just my equipment, excuse me. Body shape. Scale. Something like that. Move that up to there. Remember to Control A. All transforms to deltas on the head. A body, edit mode. Yeah, make sure you're across the x-axis there. Just add a few loop cuts. I think we'll have to add a few loop cuts to add some black. There's like black lines and squares, isn't there, on it? We'll just add some loop cuts in there. And let's again go to generate bevel. I think 0.1 will work, just to it's not as sharp. This body has obviously got to be a lot bigger. So let's scale this body there. Just eyeballing it. I've just got the reference on my other monitor. Can't provide you the reference because I don't want any copyright issues, but just Google Enderman I'll get plenty of reference for that. Maybe that body's a little bit too big, so that can be there. I'll try and create a very basic animation for this. It's not going to be like some polished walk cycle. I'll try and get the arms and legs moving. So let's go to Control A, all transforms, add a mesh. Let's add another cube. Let's bring this cube up. There, looks like he's got long arms. So let's just scale this. Just above that body a little bit. So these arms like very long, isn't they? I've got long arms and legs, this guy has. So I think what we'll do, we'll Shift D on that. And bring that down to the floor. Then we can bring the body and the head up. It's something along the lines of that, isn't it? So a touch of separation there. Bring this arm up. Getting the basic structure in place. Let's just have a look at that. Let's Control S. Enderman. And obviously you want to rename all this properly. Keep it nice and clean, but can't do everything at the minute on this. So that looks like it's pretty much, that's the kind of structure, isn't it, for this Enderman? Maybe the body should be a little bit bigger. Leg is pretty much to the floor. Bring them two back up a bit so there's a touch of separation. This up there, let's cut a few loops in. And then we can add some of the like this. Should we add generate Bevel again and just set that to 0.1. At Shift D, move that to there. Leg, let's go to edit mode, cut in a few loops again. Just there, loop cut. Whatever you want really, however many kind of like squares you want to paint on. Let's Control S and then Shift D. We could use a mirror modifier there, but so that's the kind of structure, isn't it, of this Enderman? The kind of structure. I think what we'll do, we'll go to Add Mesh Cylinder. Let's scale this cylinder. We could have him like standing on a kind of cylinder, couldn't we? Into edit mode. And let's go to select loops, edge loops. Scale that in a bit, bring that down, and maybe just inset that face a bit. Bring it up a touch. F2. Base. And we can just hide that for now. So there's our basic structure of the Enderman. Let's reset all the transforms. All transforms to deltas. Let's think about the pivot points. You want to go to edit mode. Select, go into vertex mode. See through, select them. Shift S. Cursor to selected. Into object mode. Object set origin. Origin to 3D cursor. And now the arm will pivot from there. I'll just show you that again. Shift S. Selection to cursor. Sorry. Shift S. Cursor to selected. Into object mode. Shift S. Selection. Undo that. Sorry. What am I doing? Shift S. Cursor to selected. Then into object mode. Set origin. Origin to 3D cursor. You want to do the same thing on the leg because that's going to pivot in the same kind of place. So over then, shift this, cursor to selected. Set origin, origin to 3D cursor. So that's how you do it. Drag over them, shift this, cursor to selected, into object mode, origin to 3D cursor. Now things will pivot in the right place. Obviously, if you want to do a proper walk cycle, you know, you split the leg there or rig it properly there when we do it. But so now we've set the pivots. Select them all. Control A, all transforms to deltas. Now everything's going to pivot at the right place now. Set origin, origin to geometry. Control A, delta. That's already correct. Yep. So there's the basic structure of it. Control S to save. Let's think about materials then. Just a basic black material, isn't it? So let's go to material, call that black material, if I can spell right. Black material. Let's have a swig of tea. We're just building up basic now from these, from where we left off. Gradually building up to tougher modelling stuff. Just let's start simple. This is the Enderman, so black material. Let's set that to, you don't want it dead black. Let's go to there. Maybe like that, black. Then we can go to plus there, new, call that blacker. And we can have that really quite dark. And it looks like, just looking at the reference here, I need to cut a few loops in. Around here to add a few. Looks like he's got some like the darker bits, so we'll add a few of them. He's also got them around here as well, like the dark squares. So we'll keep it simple just by cutting loops in for that. And you've also got to remember that he's got the eyes, hasn't he? So on this material, let's go to eyes, which are a kind of purple, I think. So let's go into edit mode and select some of these faces. Right. Nothing like that. And then maybe, looks like he's got a bit of a beard thing, doesn't it, there? Maybe these two. Blacker, a sign. Maybe that should be lighter. And you can see it more, can't you, then? Let's add a few around the side as well. Don't need this epic pen at the minute. Just adding some random. It's not going to match the reference 100%, but blacker, the sign. And then it looks like he's got these eyes now. So let's assign the eyes and make them a purpley colour. Something like that. And it looks like he's got some, that's a bit too purple, it's more pinky, I think. Maybe something like that. And if we go to edit mode, looks like he's made another one. Eyes. Darker. Let's grab that. Face mode. Eyes. Darker. So we copy that value there. Copy. Go into eyes darker and paste. And then make it darker there. See what that gives. Remember to assign it. Assign. Not too bad. But looking at the reference, it seems like this head, it's not quite right. Seems a bit too big. Let's bring this up like that. Or that sort of thing. And bring that back down to match. Maybe scale that a bit in the side. Something like that. Control S to save. So that's the head. Something along the lines of that. It does look like he's got. It's not going to match this reference 100%, so I'm just trying to get it a bit like it. Darker, a sign. Something like that. But it looks like we select loops, edge loop, go to delete, dissolve edges, then go into that and assign. That looks more like that and that, blacker, sign. That looks more like the reference there. So something like that. Control S to save. So I didn't want to show you all that, assigning all these blacker values, because we've done it all for the head. So I've just assigned that, and I'll bring you back now. And I just adjusted the head a bit. His forehead seemed a bit Just looking at the reference, it was up here kind of thing, so I've just brought that down. That's the only thing I've done. As I say, I assigned the dots there. So there's our basic Enderman, which looks pretty much like the reference to me. Let's just have a look at it again. I'm using pure ref. It's not going to be something, it's just going to be a very basic, silly kind of walk. So I used a mirror modifier as well. I'll just clean that up. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to apply the mirror modifier. Apply. And we added a bevel. We need to generate a bevel for that. Put it as 0.1 and then apply that. Let's just look at it in grey mode. Yeah, that's the basic structure in place, isn't it? So there's our Enderman. What do we need to do now then? Well, let's just check the values. Let's set them all to delta. We need them to be set. We applied that mirror modifier. We need them to be separate. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go to select that side, Control L, and then P, selection. And then with this one, edit mode, Control L, P, selection. And now they're separate now. We can animate them separately. But what we do need to do, this is a thing with 3D, you're always going to be doing back and forth stuff. Because we use the mirror modifier, we need to again go to Shift S and go to cursor to selected. And then go to origin to 3D cursor, so it's pivoting from there. And we need to do the same with this other leg. So the thing with 3D, especially when you're doing these tutorials, you'll kind of miss stuff. You have to go back and so Shift S, cursor to selected, into object mode, origin to 3, and then it's going to pivot properly from there now. Show all these, and these should be named properly. Nice clean values there, and everything's going to pivot correctly. So there's our basic Enderman. If we look at the reference, it looks like his arms come out here a bit like that. Not much. Something like that kind of thing. There he is. What we need to do now then is think about getting a basic walk cycle in place for him. He's generally about 24 frames. So let's go to what we'll do is again Control A, all transforms to deltas, nice and clean. Let's go to Shift A, let's go into grey mode. Let's go to Shift A, Armature, single bone. Viewport display in front. And remember, cursor to world origin, that bone has been added where the cursor is, which doesn't matter. Let's just get this rigged up then. Let's just start moving these bones about. That can be the arm for the bone for the arm. You can shift D that. And use that one for the leg. Bone for the leg. You can shift D that. Use this bone for the body. Check it in all views. Let's go to extrude there. That can be the head bone. And if we select those two, go to F2 and call that arm.r and leg.r. If we select them both and go to Armature, symmetrize, we'll get them to the other side. It's not quite in place, so just move them back into place. So there's our arms and legs. Let's go to arm, arm, leg, leg, then the body. Control P, keep offset. If you go into pose mode, move this, everything moves, so the body's controlling everything. So there's the bone system. If we go to stick, you'll see things better there. So let's get this rigged up then. Let's go to Control A, all transforms. You're applying the transforms on your rig so it's zeroed out. Let's select all our meshes there. Then select the bone system. Control P. Let's just do it with empty groups. Then we can just select the bone and the arm, white paint. Shift click there and paint. And it looks like it's in Blender 5, it's like a black colour, isn't it? So just paint an 100% influence then on this arm. And again, rig, mesh, paint it over red. So you're just getting an idea how to paint the whites again. Rig, mesh, white paint, click, 100% influence paint. And you can do it another way if I remember right, unless they've changed it. You have to excuse me here because it may have changed. We go into edit mode, vertex and select all. And select first of all, naughty there. Got head, F2, body. As I say, you can go to, I mean, not 100% symmetrical, are we there? Which doesn't matter for this. you go into edit mode, A to select all. You want that body assigned to that body. So click it in the vertex groups there, assign. You can again go into the head, edit mode, A to select all, head, assign. Edit mode, A to select all, leg R, assign. And we'll just do the last one with the white painting. So that's a couple of ways of signing 100% influence to a leg or arm, whatever you're painting. So yeah, just painting those whites here. You go into that, there you can double check and everything's 100%. Yep, all good. So now, Control S to save. If we go into pose mode, move this body, everything's moving, and there's like a weighting error there on that arm. So select the rig, the arm, into white paint, shift click that bone, you can see it wasn't quite weighted. If you now select that, you're okay. So that's a simple rig. So what we'll do now, we'll bring this base up to the floor. All transforms to deltas. Let's bring this rig up. So it's on the floor. Control A, all transforms on that. So there's our rig, and there's our base. Into material mode. I'm just thinking, what could we have for this? Should we just have it as a kind of, I think the same colour as the eye could work, couldn't it? Maybe the eye's darker, maybe. So there's our Enderman. And what we'll do now, we'll do a very basic walk. It's not going to be like a proper walk cycle with weight and bending arms and stuff. It's just going to be so I can put it onto Instagram as a simple idle kind of thing. Not like I don't know. Let's try Control S to save then. Let's go into pose mode. A to select all. I to insert. Let's create our first pose. Simple work in local mode. Let's bring that leg. What we could do, couldn't we, to start? We could have him, what about if we have him slightly forward, like that? So it's not as bang on straight, just slightly. Just there. And then make sure your auto keys on. Look, I forgot that then. I. Make an I for all channels. Let's bring that leg forward a bit there. And this leg back a bit. We can tweak the base. And obviously if this leg's forward, this arm will be forward. And this arm will be back. We could just have it something like that, couldn't we? Instead of being bang on straight, it could be in a bit of a perspective. Like that. And that could be the first pose. We tilt his head a bit maybe. So he's looking up a little bit, as if to say, I'm the man. Let's try that. Let's try it from a side view. Let's go for A, select all, I for all channels. Copy, paste onto 25, I for all channels to make sure everything's there. If you press play, we got nothing yet. But when you're halfway through 13, let's just put it the other way. Let's move this arm back to there, and this arm forward, and then this leg back to there, and this leg forward. I, all channels. If you press play, you just floaty, silly little walk of your Enderman. And obviously, like I say, it's not a proper walk where his arms are bending and things. Just a simple idle kind of walk thing. Then we could grab that and that, and we could just offset that. Maybe a frame. What we could do, grab the arm and offset that there, and the leg and offset that back. And maybe this arm, bring it forward one. You want to set the last frame to 24. And there's our basic Enderman walk. Walking on the spot. And that's all this tutorial is going to be, just a basic little Enderman walk. Control S to save. Just bring that up there and go into the graph editor. Only selected handles and don't show the cursor. What did we do with the curves there? Well, we never used location, we never used scale, we never used W. If you zoom in, the only curve we use there is Z. If you remember from the bouncing ball, if you drag that over a bit there, you'll get a bit more hang time as his arms coming back. A bit like he's on ice, isn't it? I like that. Let's tweak that. Tweak that one a bit. And tweak that one so you got a bit more hang time on it. Control S to save. I don't really want to do much else on it really. It's just a basic just a basic little animation. Well, I think we'll leave the head. Wonder if halfway we could just have a touch down and just see what it gives. If it's no good, we can just Control Z. That's not bad, is it? Just a little head movement. Maybe bring that along a bit. Give a bit more hang time. There he is, ice skating. So I'm just wondering what other stuff we could do just to add a little bit more. I was thinking of adding a little emission to the eyes maybe. On these eyes here. Copy. We go to Emission and paste. Just have the eyes pulsing a bit, couldn't we? So that's another thing you could do, just have the eyes pulsing a little bit. And I was also thinking of maybe, I noticed in the reference there was like a fire kind of thing. I'm just wondering if we go into edit mode, select some of these. So if you alt click on the end, just select the loop. Just thinking, if we go to mesh, face, is it face? I change things a bit. Shift D, just duplicate that. You could just add like a fire. Like a fire kind of thing. What I'll do a few tweaks on this and I'll come back. Remember, when you've finished your animations, remember to knock off your auto key. So I'm going to do a few little tweaks on this. And I'll come back and tell you what I've done at the end. Might set up some little lights as well. So I've done a bit of tweaking on this. As I say, nothing, as I always do when I duck out for a little 10 or 15 minutes, just do a bit of tweaking. I don't do anything complex really, and I always explain what I've done. And all I've done here is I've just set up the 3-point lights, just 3 area lights. Got an infinite plane there, infinite background. Remember, this is available in my lighting tutorial, and I've added like some spheres here with a bit of emission. So if you scroll down to your emission, it just looks, I mean, it's not perfect, but as if there's like a moon there and some stars, and he's coming out the darkness. Remember to tweak your radius there to get softer shadows. So yeah, that's the 3-point light. I deleted the base, I weren't too keen on that. And then what I've done here, I've just added like the eye. It's just come out of lit mode and it won't be as laggy. I've just added the eye material. I don't know if it'll work because it goes exactly the same times as the eye, so it's a bit, there's not that much contrast, but you know, we can see. But that's the basic finished looping animation, just a 1-second cycle of him walking. And what I was thinking of doing, which may work, although I've looked into this screencast keys, and a few people are having a few problems in Blender 5. So if you know a workaround for that, let me know. It's annoying, I can't show you the screencast keys, but it seems to have broke in Blender 5. So yeah. Yeah, what we could do, we could rotate this. We could rotate this, couldn't we? While he's walking. Just for something different. So, if we go to item there, we go to Control A, all transform to delta, so it's all on 0. Let's go into our graph editor. Base. Only selected keyframes, don't show the cursor. Base 1, that's our emission strength. Yeah. So let's key that. Let's go to the timeline. We'll go to I. and then eye there, so it's the same. Actually, at the end we want, is it the end? We want 360 at the end. We want it to be 360. Remember to have your auto key on. So 360, that's going to turn like that. If we go into the graph editor there and look at our Z-Euler rotation, which is there, we go to modifiers, cycles, that'll just keep cycling. It looks a bit fast, doesn't it, really, that? Maybe if we set that to 180, not sure that's going to work, really. Maybe alright, mightn't it? If you have it at 90, I mean, really you want it at 360 because you want a perfect loop, so we may not be able to have that rotating, to be honest. I suppose what we could do, if we delete that, could we have it go to, we'll copy and paste that so it's the same. What about if we have it go maybe 8, and it goes that way a bit, then at 16 it goes the other way. I wonder what that'll do. Not sure. Let's try that at interpolation mode as linear, see what that does. Not sure it's really working, is it, the rotation on that? Not too keen on that. Let's delete that. Maybe just leave it flashing. Maybe if we have it just going from there to there, go to 12, paste, 18, paste, hold X there. First needs to be the same as the last. We could grab that. Copy, paste. Not sure this is working, is it really, this looping part on this? So I'll leave you to decide whether you want to keep that or not. Not sure. Obviously, if you'd done it 360 like I shown you, it was too fast, so it didn't really work. So let's hit F12. Let's see what we got. So it's just like he's coming out the dark, really. The background, stars and moon. Just doing a basic like idle walk thing. So really that's pretty much the end of it. I should carry on tweaking a little few values to get a bit more lightness. Not sure about the bottom, I may scrap the bottom. Or maybe just keep it with the material flashing, same with the eyes, but because it's in time with the eyes, I'm not sure. So I think that really is the Enderman. All done. So hopefully you've learnt a few different techniques on that. And that's the end of the Enderman. So I'll see you on the next one, guys. Cheers. Bye. I'll just quickly bring you back before I finish. What you could also do as well, you could possibly have this. Let's go into the timeline. It's a frame one. You could have this as a hat as well, maybe. Yeah, all hail the king. All hail the king. Just an idea, really. So you got the king Enderman. So I'll leave you to decide what you want to do on that yourself. But that could be another idea. Obviously you'll need to delete the values if you've keyed. The rotation and stuff, I deleted the rotation on it. So you could possibly have that, but I may just hide that myself and just keep it like that personally. I suppose another option is you could get a bit funky with it and have it as a distant moon hat or something, as if it's like, I don't know, otherworldly kind of thing. I'll talk some rubbish, I don't. Maybe scale that a bit. Bring it down a bit. So, forget that the sun's got his hat on. It's like the moon's got his hat on, isn't it? You could maybe do something like that. But I'll leave you to that anyway. That'll be the end of that one, and I'll see you on the next one, guys. Thanks.